Hello YouTube, KTChamberlain here again. Now I've done my top 11 anime villains, now it's time for my top 11 anime heroes. Number 11, Usagi from Sailor Moon. Now my only problem with Sailor Moon is that I'd love to at least watch it all the way through, just out of curiosity. But like Doctor Who, it's got so many episodes, I don't know where to start, and I don't know where it ends. Doctor Who is still going on, and Sailor Moon has portions like Sailor Moon R or S or something like that. I don't know what's the order of that, how it goes. But seeing her with the other Sailor Scouts was something memorable when I was in middle school, and it has something of a basic charm, if you will, to it. Yeah. Alright, number 10. Mahoro Anda from Mahoromatic. Mahoro was a combat android for Vesper until she was offered to spend her remaining days in retirement. She chose to spend the remaining days as a maid for Suguru, but even then she's had moments where she had to fight, like at the beach and against her old enemy Toryuga. Her fighting style is awesome, and her weapon is badass, and her last resort weapon is the pinnacle of badass. Okay, number 9. Von Finalia from Escaflowne. Not much to say about him, except he's essentially an angel, and he was voiced by Kirby Morrow. He was Prince of Finalia before it was destroyed, and is able to control Escaflowne, and is young and heroic. Von is somewhat underrated, and his dispute with his brother Vulcan is pretty interesting. Like I said, not much to say about him, but with an underrated anime show, he was memorable. Number 8. Guts from Berserk. Guts is definitely the heroic badass of Berserk. He's like the anime equivalent to Conan the Barbarian, because no matter how many friends he makes on his travels, the one he'll trust completely is himself. His sword was definitely big. The reason being is that when he was a kid, he trained with swords meant for adults. He stood up to Nosferatu Zod, as I mentioned in my last video. He fought 100 soldiers single-handedly, and fought against General Bascon, and survived the eclipse. No, not that eclipse, but really, knowing him, he'd slaughter everyone in that lousy franchise. No offense to anyone who likes it, that's just my thought. And even after all that, he's still fighting in the manga. Number 7. Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. Spike is definitely awesome. He's quick, he's clever, he's got cat-like speed and reflexes. He's like Michael Keaton as Batman. Picture him holding a criminal about to drop him saying, "I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. Tell all your friends about me." What makes him different is that he doesn't care what goes on in space as long as there's a person with a bounty for him to collect, because he is, after all, a bounty hunter. He still counts as a hero, he just won't do it for free. Number 6. Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Goku is interesting. He's kind of like a stallion, majestic and kind-hearted, but hurt those he holds dear and he'll kick the crap out of you. He's like a combination of iconic figures. He's got the clueless nature of Popeye. Dragon Ball was based off the Chinese Monkey King legend, and he's got the history and overall nature of Superman. I mean, think about it. Goku was born on an alien planet, sent to Earth before it blew up, and was raised by Earthlings, or actually just one old man, Gohan. One thing I never quite got my head around is why didn't Gohan find Goku a surrogate mother for him when he found him as a baby? But like Superman, Goku would be kind and compassionate and stick to his principles, even if the entire Earth told him not to. And although Goku's biggest misstep was when he died in the Cell Saga, and I'll give my thoughts on that for a later video. Number 5. Sesshomaru from Inuyasha. Sesshomaru was a badass. He kicks ass. He can even beat you with his only arm, because all he needs is either a sword to either cut you down or blast your ass, and even if he doesn't have one, he could either use his energy whip or use his poison claws to kill you. He doesn't even seek the jewel shards because his power is at its highest. Naraku couldn't even absorb him, and half the time it's usually Sesshomaru that does the move that makes Naraku retreat. But what I also like about him is his character development. He at first didn't like humans, but it was Rin who gave him peace in a lifetime of war. Now, people speculate about the relationship between the two, but I personally see a history parallel to Grover Cleveland, and I'll explain that in a later video. Number 4. Saya Otanashi from Blood Plus. Saya is my favorite in this show. She with her Chevalier Haji make an awesome fighting duo. Her story and development was also something that I really liked. I like it when characters start out with their memories lost, and during their journeys they gradually regain them, and they learn some shocking truths about them. and this was no exception. Her losses during the show felt real, and she didn't take the Shinji Ikari route, and God bless her for that. She became skilled with a sword over time and started to get the hang of it more and more. In fact, I like her second sword better than the first one, and she may get knocked down or lose someone she holds dear, but she gets back in the game. She's kind of like my character Amy in my manga series Sora's Song. I'll give my summary on that for a later video. Number 3, Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. I like Ichigo. He's a quintessential shonen anime hero. He's funny at times, though he doesn't try to be funny. He's very determined. He's a tough guy with a kind heart, and he's been voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who played Adam, the second Black Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Number 2, Yusukeurameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Yusuke is a badass. He doesn't take crap from anyone. I love the fact that he's a smartass. Like Ichigo, he too will keep on fighting despite all odds. To me, he's kind of like the Green Ranger, which, for the record, he was my favorite when I was a kid. He, along with Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei, they make an awesome group. And number 1, Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Edward is incredible, despite being, what, 5'2"?
4'11".
Oh, 4'11", that's right. Edward is funny, badass, kind-hearted, a child prodigy, stubborn and principled, and can perform alchemy without a matrix, and will stop at nothing to get him and his brother Al's body back to normal, since he feels as an older brother it's his responsibility. Edward reminds me a lot of my older brother, and I definitely relate to Alphonse. He, despite his height, stands up to just about any foe thrown at him, whether if it's Scar or even the homunculi. That takes balls. And being voiced by Vic Mignogna, that is like the pinnacle of awesomeness in an anime hero. Edward Elric, the number 1 anime hero on my list, and those are my top 11 anime heroes. Next time will be my top 11 hated anime characters. Until then, thanks for watching.
The mighty Lord Fluff!